उमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवान् प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे यः श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तानंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna devotees. So we will continue with this chapter number 4. Let me share my screen. Okay, so who's doing 36? Verse number 36. Verse number 36.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. अपि चेदसि पापेभ्य सर्वेभ्य पापकृत्तमः सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव वृजीर्णं सन्तरिष्यसि. Translation: Even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna and thank you. Lata Mataji. Okay, Lata Mataji, Hare Krishna. Lata Mataji is here. Okay, Lata Mataji not here. Anybody else would like to try?
I can read Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, yeah. Ganesh Prabhu. Okay. Ganesh Prabhu will give chance. I think his name is.
Okay, Prabhuji. No problem.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
अपि चिन्तसि पब्येव सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः सर्वं प्लवेनय विघ्नं सन्तरिष्यसि. Even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, purports are very small, so we will read them. Yes, Sita Devi Mataji, would you like to read the purport?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Purport. Proper understanding of one's constitutional position in relationship to Krishna is so nice that it can at once lift one from the struggle of existence which goes on in the ocean of nescience. This material world is sometimes regarded as an ocean of nescience and sometimes as a blazing forest. In the ocean, however expert a swimmer one may be, the struggle for existence is very severe. If someone comes forward and lifts the struggling swimmer from the ocean, he is the greatest savior. Perfect knowledge received from the super personality of Godhead is the path of liberation. The boat of Krishna consciousness is very simple, but at the same time the most sublime. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna. So this verse actually talks about the ocean of miseries, okay, also called as the samsara sagara. So we always keep saying about the samsara sagara. So what exactly is samsara sagara? Samsara sagara is the ocean of material existence. So if we consider this material world to be an ocean, okay, it is it's an ocean of material existence. It's like an analogy. It's not really a literal place which exists. Okay, it's an ocean of miseries. It's actually a very powerful sentence. In fact, if you say ocean of miseries, right? It says apiche tasi papebhya sarvebhya papakrityamah sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. Because if you just imagine this material world, there is so much of suffering for us actually that we have to take if we actually reflect about it, right? So this is not something to be, it's not a heavenly planet that we can enjoy a lot. It's not like somebody I said, it's not like a hotel. It's actually a hospital. So that's what is this material world. There's so much of suffering, right? It's just that we are either we got very thick-skinned or we are just ignoring it. But suffering is all over the place if we actually read the news properly. Okay. See, recently there was a news that there was a blast in one of the industries. Have you heard about it? Devotees?
Yeah, it's in Hyderabad, Telangana.
Yeah. There was a blast, and
Yeah,
then what happened after the blast? Right? What
yeah.
happened after the blast? And what happened to those people who were involved in the blast? Right?
Yes.
What happened to those people who were involved in the blast? It's not the first time. We have already seen this in the last 1 year. We've seen another news also, right? So there's an explosion of a chemical factory, some kind of factory. I don't know what factory it is, and because of that explosion, so many people have died, right? And it's so bad that they're not even able to recognize the bodies of the dead. Am I right?
Yes.
So, and in some cases, they're some people are completely missing. That means that the bodies are completely mutilated. See, and how much of suffering that is, and how much more for those relatives, right, who have lost their dear ones in this incident, right? It's not only the only incident. We've seen another incident where there was a glass factory or something which exploded, right? So it's kind of invisible, but suffering is always there. Okay, so if there is birth, there is suffering. Okay, it may be invisible for us. Maybe we don't know about it, but suffering is there. Just think about this. If we think about the animals, okay, we think the animals do not have any diseases. They are very living, very happy. That's what we think, isn't it? But is that really true? That animals don't get any diseases? Is that true? They don't get cancer. They don't get any disease. What do you think?
They too get.
They
They
get,
too suffer.
yeah, they suffer, right? At least we can complain. We can go to a doctor, right? Just think about some animal in some random forest, correct? So they have to silently suffer, yes or no?
Yes.
It's actually a terrible place to be, this material world. Okay, and it's not that I am saying it. Okay, it's Supreme Lord Krishna is saying it. Right? Krishna is saying it. He's saying it as Vrijinam. Vrijinam means ocean of miseries. Vrijinam. He's comparing it with the ocean of miseries. There are so many um, songs, related to this. We say this, right? Samsara dava nalali the loka. Anybody knows that song? Guru Ashtakam. Anybody
We've heard
can
so
anybody
many.
can sing the first line? First line. Sing the first paragraph. Sing the first line. Samsara dava nalali the loka.
Neha
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
yeah. Go ahead.
संसारदावा नललीडलोका प्राणय कारुण्यघन घनत्वं प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
So it says it's comparing this ocean of material existence, samsara. Sometimes it is compared to an ocean. Sometimes it is compared to a blazing forest. In either case, both of them are very dangerous situations to be in. You see, just imagine if we were to be dropped, okay, in the middle of an ocean, okay. Maybe we know a little bit of swimming, that's okay. Or maybe we have something to float also. But just imagine we have to swim around 10,000 kilometers to get to the shore. How would that be? 10,000 kilometers to go to the shore. And so many sharks, you see, in the ocean. Is that very easy? It's terrible, right? So 10,000 kilometers to swim with so many sharks around us and freezing cold water. Sometimes the water is tossing up and down. Very uncomfortable, right? That's the ocean of material existence. But here the comparison is that Vrijinam, it says that Jnana Plavena, Jnana Plavena means by the boat of Jnana. So there is a boat called transcendental knowledge by which can help us to cross over this dangerous ocean of material existence. And what is that jnana? That jnana is to simply understand about who we are and what is our relationship with Krishna. As simple as that. It's actually very simple. It's just as simple as, Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana means simply to understand I am part and parcel of Krishna. I am eternal part and parcel of Krishna. And I have to be serving the Supreme Lord. I am the servant of Krishna. And I have to perform bhakti or service to Krishna. That is my goal. And by serving Krishna, I will be liberated. It's as simple as that, right? So this is perfect transcendental knowledge, right? So all we have to do is this. So if you are stuck in the ocean, try to swim by yourself. You need help, obviously, right? So perfect knowledge received from the Supreme Lord is that which helps us. So if you can receive perfect knowledge, so we are receiving perfect knowledge from Krishna right now. This actually can help us. Okay, so this is called as the boat of Krishna consciousness. Let's go ahead for the next sloka. The boat of Krishna consciousness. Yes. Next verse. Who is doing this? Premamai Mataji and Grishma Mataji. Grishma Mataji, yeah. Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Grishma Mataji here. Okay. Sunita Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Basmasat Kurute Arjuna.
Sorry. Come again. I didn't properly scroll.
Ete dhamshi samidhognir basmasat kurute Arjuna jnanagni sarva karmani basma sat kurute tata. Translation. As a blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes all reactions to material activities.
Hare Krishna.
What?
Thank you, Mataji. So
Hare
would
Krishna.
you also continue reading the purport? You can read the purport.
Sure, Prabhuji. Perfect knowledge of self and super self and of their relationship is compared herein to fire. This fire not only burns up all reactions to impious activities, but also all reactions to pious activities, turning them to ashes. There are many stages of reaction: reaction in the making, reaction fructifying, reaction already achieved, and reaction a priori. But knowledge of the constitutional position of the living entity burns everything to ashes. When one is in complete knowledge, all reactions, both a priori and posteriori, are consumed. In the Vedas, Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 4.4.22, it is stated, Ube Uhai Vaisa
ite tarati amritaha sadva asaduni. One overcomes both the pious and impious reactions of work. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay. So here is another analogy. Okay. So, the best of the teachers, they are good at analogies. See, who can be better than Krishna? Krishna has used analogies. So what was the analogy that Krishna used in the previous verse? Anyone?
Boat of transcendental knowledge.
Okay, he compared, okay, boat of transcendental knowledge, and what was the other comparison?
With the ocean, Prabhuji.
Ocean of
Ocean
material
of
miseries.
miseries.
Yeah, ocean of miseries, and transcendental knowledge is a boat that is helping us to cross over. Okay, that's the, so we can actually visualize it. So the moment we say an ocean, we can visualize an ocean. The moment you see somebody stuck in the ocean and actually a boat arriving and saving that person, we can visualize it. Now there is another analogy. What's the analogy here?
Fire.
Okay, what's that? Fire. Fire and ashes. Okay, what's the fire? Yeah.
Fire can burn everything to ashes. So similarly,
Okay.
knowledge can improve a person to spiritual understanding.
Okay.
Fire of knowledge can burn all your sinful reactions.
Yeah. So the knowledge has been compared to fire. And what is the firewood here? Okay, you can imagine fire. Okay, just imagine some dry wood or some wet wood, so much of wood, okay, big pile of wood. And just imagine you're setting fire to it. So that fire is that transcendental knowledge. That firewood is what?
Bhakti Prabhuji, devotional service Bhakti.
No, no. Fire is the transcendental knowledge. The firewood is our karma. So there's a big pile of sticks, okay, which is unwanted. We don't want that. Does anybody want to keep their reactions to the material activities, karma? This karma is actually causing us suffering, okay? We want to completely exterminate it. Somehow we want to exterminate all of these material reactions. So that fire is the transcendental knowledge. The firewood is the karma, that is the reactions to our material activities, which is piled up across multiple lifetimes, not just this lifetime, okay? Many lifetimes, a big account. And then converting to ashes, that means all the reactions are getting nullified, right? So this is a useful fire because we don't want that wood. We want to actually burn it, and we want to completely burn it off into ashes, right? So that's a beautiful example that's given here. So there are different, so actually according to the karma siddhanta, there are a lot of different types of karma. Okay, so there's a great detail of discussion about this karma. We will do, or we'll hear this discussion maybe during the next week when we have the Gita master class. We have a separate topic called how to destroy bad karma. So that's one of the topics. So in that topic, we will actually see a very detailed discussion about what is karma and what kinds of karma are there and how do you nullify this karma. So for now, we just see there are different types of karma mentioned here: reaction in the making, reaction fructifying, reaction achieved, reaction a priori, reaction a posteriori. Doesn't matter what kind of karma it is, all of it can be burned up by understanding our relationship with Krishna. So this is so sublime. Krishna consciousness is so important. Only when we understand our position, our constitutional position, that I am the eternal servant of Krishna. This simple surrender can finish entire stockpile of our karma. There's a verse in Bhagavad Gita which is like the last instruction of Lord Krishna, where Krishna promises that all our sinful reactions will be destroyed by Him if we surrender unto Him. Can anybody quote that verse? It's a very famous one.
प्रभुजी अंतकाले च मामेव
No, not that.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वं सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचि.
That's right. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुच. Krishna is saying, if abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me, I shall deliver you from all kinds of sinful reactions. This is Krishna's promise. So simply when we surrender to the Super Soul, when we surrender to Lord Krishna, when we realize our relationship with Krishna, it can actually destroy all our sarva papebhyo, Krishna said. Ma sucha, he said, don't worry. It's not that, maybe something will be left out. No. Sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. I will completely nullify all the sinful reactions. Do not fear. This is the promise of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the importance of this verse. Just like how a fire can completely destroy a big pile of wood into ashes. Bhasmasat kurute Arjuna. Right. Similarly, the transcendental knowledge of Krishna consciousness can completely destroy the stock of sinful reactions. Okay, so let's go to the next verse. Okay, who's doing the next one?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी.
Hare Krishna. Navin Sharma.
भगवद गीता 4.38 नाहि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिहि विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगी संसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति. Translation: in this world there is nothing so sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge. Such knowledge is the mature fruit of all mysticism, and one who has become accomplished in the practice of devotional service enjoy this knowledge within himself in due course of time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, please read the purport as well.
Sure, Prabhuji. When we speak of transcendental knowledge, we do so in terms of spiritual understanding. As such, there is nothing so sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge. Ignorance is the cause of our bondage, and knowledge is the cause of our liberation. This knowledge is the mature fruit of devotional service. And when one is situated in transcendental knowledge, he need not search for peace elsewhere, for he enjoys peace within himself. In other words, this knowledge and peace culminate in Krishna consciousness. That is the last word in Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Hare Krishna. So, the ultimate culmination, it says, let's see, what's the ultimate culmination of yoga? What's the ultimate culmination of yoga? Is this. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. That means there's nothing which is as pure and sublime as the transcendental knowledge. And then it says, Tat Swayam Yoga Samsiddhaha. Such knowledge is a mature fruit of all types of yoga system. All types of yoga system, the purpose of every type of yoga system, be it be Dhyana Yoga, Karma Yoga, or Jnana Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga, everything is to come to this ultimate point of view to understand our constitutional position. Who am I? What is my relationship with the Supreme Lord? And what is it that I must be doing right now? So, and it says, Tat Swayam Yoga Samsiddhaha Kalena Atmani Vindati. Kalena Atmani Vindati. That means in the course of time, somebody who has become perfect somebody who's become accomplished, enjoys this knowledge within himself in the due course of time. So the primary purpose of all the Vedic teachings is to get two things, okay? One is called Jnana and one is called Vairagya. Jnana and Vairagya. So when we do the Bhakti Yoga, it says Bhakti Yogam Adhokshaji. So when we do the Bhakti Yoga towards the Lord Krishna, what happens is it says Jnanam cha Vairagyam. Jnana Vairagya comes as a byproduct. Jnana Vairagya comes as the byproduct. So that is knowledge and renunciation, they come as a byproduct of Krishna consciousness. So by doing Krishna consciousness, unalloyed devotional service to Krishna, we get jnana, that is perfect knowledge, and then we get renunciation from this material reactions or towards the material activities. So here it says, this is very important, it says, in the other words, this knowledge and peace culminate in Krishna consciousness. Right? You don't need to search for peace anywhere else because the peace is there within. Okay, we are trying to look for peace everywhere, but then the peace is within. That peace will be able to realize it with the help of Krishna consciousness. It said that is the last word of Bhagavad Gita. It's a very important point. Right? Let's go to the next one. Yeah. 4.39. Who can? 4.39. Who is doing 4.39? 4.39. Hare Krishna.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
4.39. Shraddhavan labate jnanam tatparaha swajam prenitiha jnanam labhya param jnas param snanimachirena digacchate. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, translation also. Yeah, translation.
Translation. A faithful man who is dedicated is to transcendental knowledge and who sadhus his sense is eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Purport also, Prabhuji?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Purport. Such knowledge in Krishna consciousness can be achieved by faithful person who believes firmly in Krishna. One is called faithful man who thinks that simply by acting in Krishna consciousness, he can attain the highest perfection. This faith is attained by the discharge of devotional service and by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, which cleanse one's heart by all material dirt. Over and above this, one should control the senses. A person who is faithful to Krishna and who controls the senses can easily attain perfection in the knowledge of Krishna consciousness without delay. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam. So, here there is a description about the faithful person. So we will see who is a faithful person and who is somebody who has no faith, faithless person. There are two types of people, right? Faithful and faithless. So first of all, what is the meaning of faith? What is the meaning of Shraddha? Shraddha Shabde Vishwasi. It is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Shraddha means to have absolute faith in Krishna. Hare Krishna. So to have absolute faith in Krishna is called as Shraddha. Kindly mute yourself. So, and a person who has this faith is called Shraddhavan. Shraddhavan. You see, one of our bhakti steps is also called Shraddhavan. Shraddhavan means, it's like the first step. We say Shraddhavan. Shraddhavan means somebody who has faith in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Somebody who has faith in the supremacy of Lord Krishna. It starts with that. Okay, the first step is Shraddha. That should be very strong. And only Shraddhavan, okay, or a faithful man achieves knowledge. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Right? And then somebody who is completely subduing his senses. And then later what is very interesting here is it says jnanam labdva param shantim achirenadhi gacchati. Achirenadhi gacchati. Achirena means very quickly, very fast. Adhigacchati means attains. So after you get the knowledge, the natural thing that you get immediately after jnana is param shantim. Param shantim means transcendental peace. Actually, this is what we are looking for. We are very agitated. The living entities, human beings, all of us are very agitated because of the things that are going around us, things that are happening to us and to people around us. That makes us very agitated, and we don't have any solution for it, nor do we have any idea why all of this is happening. But the moment there is jnana, that is a transcendental knowledge, that's why this chapter is so important. When you attain transcendental knowledge by performing bhakti faithfully, when you attain transcendental knowledge, when it becomes very clear to you, and when everything, each and every word that Krishna says, the spiritual master says, becomes crystal clear for you in realization. So that's when you attain Param Shanti, or the supreme spiritual peace. So to attain Shraddha, we have to discharge devotional service by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So what happens when you chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra? It cleanses our heart of material dirt. Okay, so this is very important, okay? This is not an academic exercise, okay? Reading Bhagavad Gita is not an academic exercise. That means just like a textbook. You see, we go to college and we enroll for a course. They give you a textbook, and then you have to read the textbook, memorize some parts of it, and then when there's a answer, when there's an exam, you just have to recollect and then write. That's it, done. Well, Bhagavad Gita that's not the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. You see, for example, okay, let us say the first verse of Bhagavad Gita. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kima kurvata sanjaya. So that's not the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, that we're just repeating Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kima kurvata sanjaya. By repeating it 100 times, that's not the thing. That's not the idea. The idea is that we have to discharge devotional service. We have to be chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We have to be chanting the Krishna's names. The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to attain knowledge. The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to understand it. There's so many people who say, when we go for book distribution and ask them, do you want a book? What's the number one excuse? Anybody can guess? Number one excuse when you try to give a book to somebody and say, please take this book, Bhagavad Gita.
I don't have.
Maybe Prabhuji, we don't have time.
No. It's not the one. That's not the exercise. That's not the excuse that they give.
We don't know how to read.
That means you should have some experience. You should actually try this. You should actually go out, take some books, Bhagavad Gita, and then go to the public and you should distribute and say, okay, would you like to take this book? It's a nice book. You should try this. Then you'll know what's the top excuse that you get.
We can't read Sanskrit, so we can't
No, not even
understand.
that. Not even that.
I'm not ready. I have it already.
They don't say I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Nobody says I'm not ready.
No money,
What do
We
we
don't
get
follow
after
in
I
any
have
reading?
it
house.
already.
Yeah,
no
I
money.
don't have time.
I don't have time. No, I don't have time. No,
I don't believe in it.
they don't even say
Yeah,
that.
we don't.
Nobody says I don't believe in it. Very
I
funny.
have it already.
What I'll get
I
after
have it
reading this?
already. I have it already.
Oh,
That's the Congress. I have it already. I already have it. I already have it. I have it.
So,
I don't need it. I
so it's
already have
they're
it.
telling a lie, Prabhuji, or they actually have it?
We don't know. Sometimes sometimes I maybe it's a lie. Most of the time it's a lie. But even in case, see, everybody has Bhagavad Gita at home, some version or the other. They have it at home. That's also a reality. Or maybe like my grandfather has it. So somebody said, my dadi has it. Right? My grandmother has it. My grandmother has got Bhagavad Gita. So I had to ask that person, like, okay, how are you benefited by your grandmother having Bhagavad Gita? How are you benefiting out of it? Right? So I like there was one set of uncles, okay, who were discussing, and then I went in the middle of them and I said, okay, please take Bhagavad Gita. And they said, all of them said, we all have it. We have it. We have it with us. We don't need this. So I had to ask a follow-up question next. That are you reading it? Are you reading it? Right? So they said, no, but we have it. Right? So just like, a school student, buys all the textbooks, nicely puts all the, what do you say, that cover, nicely puts the sticker on it, but never opens it. Will that person pass? Right? Will that person pass the exam? If you don't open the textbook, if you don't read it, what is the use of that book? Right? Or some people say, no, we read Bhagavad Gita, 700 shlokas every Ekadashi, we read Bhagavad Gita. Right? So you tell me, okay, let us say there is some book, okay, let us say there's a book that you buy, okay, how to manage your time. Fine. And the way you read it is, okay, let us say that you start reading from cover to cover. Just like, there's a book in front of me and in the preface, I'm reading it out loudly, entire book cover to cover. And I'll read it 20 times, 30 times, 50 times. Is it useful? I mean, if you do it like that, my question is that.
No, Prabhuji, it's not of any use. If you really, you will understand to a certain extent, maybe just 1 or 2%. You can't proceed. If you're not hearing it from a bona fide spiritual master, you really don't understand the right meaning. Like I have tried it myself, and I think basically, when people are saying they have book, I think mostly it is true.
Yeah. Everybody has it, more or less. That's right.
They can't proceed because they won't, they won't understand if they read it by themselves. At least that was my experience also. I bought all forms. Like I bought the shorter version. I bought mediocre. I bought the entire Bhagavad Gita unless and until Jwalana ma'am really explained what it means. Like that was the initial stage when I started understanding Bhagavad Gita. I don't think so. Without a spiritual master, you really understand the right meaning. You can read. It's just English, and you'll just understand the gist of it. But if you really have to understand the intent, it has to be through a spiritual master. At least that was my experience. The difference when I read it myself and when I heard from someone who's qualified.
That's
That's
right.
my experience, at least.
That's right. Thank you for adding. So, what I was trying to say is, even if you get some personal productivity, personal management, any kind of a book, okay, which helps you with finances, anything, if you read it mechanically reading, it won't help, right? How does mechanical reading help? You have to understand what it means to you, and apply it. Makes sense, right? So when Krishna is saying Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dhrudavratah katayantascha mam nityam. So Krishna is saying, always, glorify me. Satatam kirtayanto mam. Always glorify me. So we have to do the glorification, right? So when Krishna is saying an instruction, it is for us to follow it. It is not for us to repeat it, right? So just imagine that you tell some instruction to your children, okay? You say, set your bed, and your child repeats it 20 times. Set your bed, 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 but doesn't set the bed. What would be your reaction? Will you be very happy about it?
No, Prabhuji.
Right? So it's like that. If you're simply repeating Bhagavad Gita and not actually following what Krishna is saying, it's not useful. The purpose is, at least one verse. Forget about all 700 verses. Just take one and follow one verse. That's enough for us to get liberation. Just one verse of Bhagavad Gita is enough for us to get liberated. We don't have to use all of the 700, right? So, coming back here, if we have to just take this one verse, what is it that we have to take? Shraddhavan lavate jnanam. Krishna is saying, have faith in what Krishna is saying. That's it. We just have to have faith. See, the very purpose why Krishna started to speak Arjuna is because Arjuna said that Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. He said, I am your student, Shishyas, and I shall follow what you say. Therefore, Krishna started to reveal this Bhagavad Gita. It is Parama Rahasya. Rahasyam etad uttamam. This is a secret. Bhagavad Gita is a secret which was revealed by Krishna to Arjuna. When Arjuna said, you are my spiritual master and I shall do what you are saying, then he started to reveal it. Right? But again, of course, asking questions is a different thing. Arjuna is asking questions throughout Bhagavad Gita, clarifying it. But it should not happen that Arjuna hears the entire Bhagavad Gita and ultimately says something like, okay, you said a lot of things, but I don't think this is for me. Like that. You see? If he says something like, yeah, all these things, I don't believe in all of this. Is that a good attitude? Tell me. Is that a good attitude? Is it correct?
No, Prabhuji.
If that is the answer, Prabhuji, probably the person is not understood.
That means he didn't understand.
Mm.
There was so much of effort completely wasted. What is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita if Arjuna doesn't understand it? Right? But you know what Arjuna said? Of course, Arjuna asked a lot of questions. Of course, in the 6th chapter also he says, when Krishna explains about the Ashtanga Yoga, he says, oh, this is very difficult for me, I can't do it. Then Krishna gives him encouragement statements. And he continues to explain about Bhakti Yoga and different types of systems. And ultimately, Arjuna said, Nashto moha smriti labdva tvat prasadat mayachyuta sitosmi gata sandeha karishe vachanam tava. He says, now all my delusion is clear. All my illusion, all my ignorance is clear. Because of your mercy. Now I am free of all doubts. Karishe vachanam tava. I shall do whatever you say, I shall do. This is called surrender. This is the final goal of Bhagavad Gita, that we should come to a stage where we say, Krishna, I will just follow whatever you say. Right? Again, it should not be a point where we come back to again the hazy, back to square one again, trying to say, I don't know, all this doesn't work, it's not for me, it's for some people, it's not for me, something like that, okay? So Shraddhavan, we should have faith. We should have faith. If you have doubts, we should find it out. I mean, read it. Prabhupada says, read it, reread it until you clear it. If you have doubts, if you have questions, get it clarified, or you read it yourself. You read Bhagavad Gita as it is. The way to read it, Prabhupada says, read one chapter. First read one chapter, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, 5 time. Go to the next. Again, read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. or you read the entire Bhagavad Gita again, you read the entire Bhagavad Gita multiple times until you become convinced, until you come to the stage where you say, Nashto mohas vritir labdva tvat prasadat mayachuta sitosmi gatasande karishye vachanam tava. Until you come to the stage where you say, okay, now I'm clear, Krishna, whatever you say, I shall follow. That is Shraddha. You should have faith.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
That's absolutely, I mean, a lot of people have faith and, they have belief also, and they believe in the existence of God also. But when you're saying this, Prabhuji, that we should just follow what Krishna says. So what does really means for us as in Kali in this age? Because when we are not, because for Arjun it was a different thing, because he was facing Krishna, or Krishna was physically present there. But right now, I mean, Krishna is not there to instruct us basically. So is it like through spiritual master, or how we should take it, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. It's a nice question, interesting question. So Krishna is not physically present, but he is present in the form of his message. That's point number one. So we try to take guidance from Shastra. That is his message. And then we take the message from Guru Sadhu Shastra, Guru. So the spiritual master, when spiritual master gives an instruction, it is non-different from Krishna giving an instruction. So in the Guru Vandana, we say, in Guru Ashtakam also we say, right? Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya prasadat nagati kutopi. That means satisfaction of the spiritual master is satisfaction of Krishna. Dissatisfaction of the spiritual master is, our life is like wasted if we dissatisfy the spiritual master. So Krishna externally appears. Krishna is internally present as Paramatma within us. And he externally appears, manifests in the form of a spiritual master out of his mercy. So whatever spiritual master says is the final. That is the instruction of Krishna, and spiritual master is equivalent to Krishna. Sakshat haritvena samasta shastre uktas tata bhav yatayeva sadbhir. Sakshat Hari. So because the spiritual master is a servant of Lord Krishna, he is as good as Krishna. We should give respectful obeisances. We should give respect to spiritual master as good as how we give it to Krishna, or even more than to Krishna. We should actually give to the spiritual master. That is the process. Okay. So if the spiritual master says it, that is the final. Okay. So that's why we need a spiritual master whom we can ask a question. Okay, is this right? Is this wrong? What should I be doing? What should I not be doing? Like that. You see, because I tell you, my spiritual master Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, he asked a lot of questions to Srila Prabhupada. I remember one of the questions that he asked was, how do we know that whatever thoughts we get to our mind are given by Krishna or not? Given by super soul or not? Did anybody of you get this doubt? That, some thought that comes within, is it said by Krishna or is it my mind? The multiple filters. Sometimes my mind says some things. Sometimes there is Paramatma within, super soul. Krishna is giving some instructions. How do you find out? Okay, let me ask you this question. Is it okay to just take whatever comes from within as Krishna's message and execute it? Is that correct? What is the risk of doing that? Is it not at all risky? Because a lot of people say, right, we have Krishna within, my consciousness will dictate what I should be doing. What is the risk of that? Taking our
They'll be
consciousness.
acting to
We
their
will
own
accumulate
fancies,
sinful
thoughts.
reaction, Prabhuji. We will accumulate sinful reaction if we do everything what we think or what we hear from inside.
Okay, sinful reactions. And then what else?
Prabhuji, if we get positive thoughts, our inner gut feeling or the Paramatma from within will say proceed, and we go ahead. But if we get negative thoughts, always actually there is a Paramatma inside saying that please don't do it. But in spite of that, we go against it and do it. So there is a Paramatma in that conscience who is stopping us from doing it. So it's up to the, an alcoholic will not listen to that inner voice. He will just go and drink.
Yeah. See, the inner voice is a very slippery ground.
Paramatma.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, the inner voice, just following whatever the inner voice says is a very, very slippery ground. If that was the case, we don't need a spiritual master at all. We can just simply follow the inner voice, whatever is dictated by the inner voice. You see, Hitler's inner voice said, do Holocaust and kill millions of Jews. That was his inner voice. So do we say that it is Paramatma dictated that?
No,
No, he
Paramatma told
against
him not to do, but he still went against it.
No, how do you know? He's saying that my inner voice is saying that I should do this. And he'll loudly say that. My inner voice is saying that.
if the result
Paramatma gave
is
us free
certain
will,
and
Prabhuji,
negative,
and
then it
we have to
isn't
apply our brain.
Paramatma.
He just ignored it and he went on with his evil
How do you
because
know it? How do you know it? Duryodhana's inner voice said something. Shakuni's inner voice. So this is a very slippery ground,
the
man.
demons.
No, this is a very slippery thing because our mind is very, 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 very tricky thing. Okay.
Is it because of the knowledge, limited knowledge we have, and based on that we execute our things?
See, Prabhu.
Because of our flickery mind, and as a human being,
Yeah.
we too have the strength and the weakness.
If we simply go and just follow the dictates of our mind, then it's a very, very slippery position actually. Okay.
Prabhuji is not in control of his senses, but basically.
Yeah, but how do I know how do somebody know that he's in control of senses or not? Sometimes mind works according to the training also. There's some people have some kind of biases, right? Some people are trained in such a way or they have some cultural kind of upbringing that they like some things, they dislike something. They may be disliking something which is good, maybe liking something which is not good. So likes and dislikes are subject to a lot of cultural upbringing and a lot of conditioning of the previous lifetimes, etc. So we can't take that as the final thing. My likes and my dislikes may be exactly opposite of your likes and your dislikes. And we can both argue that, Paramatma from within is saying this and fight. That's the reason why we have Shastra. Right? There's a shloka which says, Manaya yatra gachanti, tatra gachanti, vanaraha. Shastrani yatra gachanti, tatra gachanti, venaraha. So the two people, Vanara and Venara. Vanara means monkey. Somebody who just follows their mind is called a monkey. Right? So I just follow my mind. Monkey also follows its own mind. So sometimes it will jump, sometimes it will scratch, sometimes it will break something. That is called Vanara. Shastrani yatta gachanti. So if you follow the scriptures, the instructions of the spiritual master, then actually that is human being. Human beings follow the scriptural instructions. We just don't go by what we feel, right? That's not the. If we go by our feelings and likes and dislikes, then it's a very slippery ground. That's the reason why we compulsorily need a spiritual master. Otherwise, how do we know? That's what I'm saying. Jayapataka Maharaj, he asked Prabhupada, I'm getting a lot of thoughts, do this, do this. So how do I know which one of them is by Krishna, which one of them is by my mind? Then Prabhupada said a simple answer, very simple answer. If the thoughts that you're getting in your mind are in alignment with Bhagavad Gita, then it is instructions of the Krishna. If they are not aligned with Bhagavad Gita, then their instructions or dictates of your mind, right? So morning, let us say I keep an alarm and my mind is saying snooze it, sleep, go to sleep. Now you tell me, is this Krishna's instruction, sleep, or my mind?
Your mind, Prabhuji.
Right. Right. So yeah, how did you come to a decision? Right.
You just want to do it, and you want to follow that as per the Krishna's thing, and you have the commitment.
Yeah, if it's not in line with Krishna's instructions, it's not in line with Guru's instruction, obviously there's something wrong, right? So on Ekadashi, I can get an idea that, okay, let me eat some grains today. Let's break this. So is that coming, is Krishna's instructions or our mind saying it? Okay.
This is
Simple.
our choice.
It's our mind, yeah. One day I feel like, okay, I don't want to chant today. I'm feeling, I don't feel like chanting today. Is it Krishna from within saying, don't chant? What do you think? Who's doing it?
It's our choice. Our choice.
Our religion.
Our
It's
mind
our-
is doing it, right? So, yeah. So that's the reason why we need this Bhagavad Gita. That's the reason why we need a spiritual master, so that we can ask questions to a spiritual master. Okay, this is what I'm doing. Sending a report to spiritual master that this is what I'm doing. Is this okay? Is this correct? Right? We have to get feedback. And this is what is actually missing in our spiritual life. Right? So we are not taking feedback. We are not ready to take feedback. Right? You see, the best of the Olympics players who get gold medals and all, they have a coach, right, who is giving them corrections every now and then, right, who is giving them corrections about their game, what mistakes they are doing it. They're getting so many corrections, so many criticisms. They're taking it, they're correcting themselves, they're working on it, and that's why they are gold medalists. Making sense, right? Hare Krishna. Any questions? Yeah, let's go to the next one. Now, what about those who don't have faith? This is a problem. Okay, this is normal. If somebody has faith, if doesn't have faith, that's normal. Okay, that's the, what do you say, the default behavior. Faithlessness is the default behavior. That's what we are currently. Conditioned living entity is faithless. A liberated living entity is faithful. That's the only difference. Okay. So what happens to a person who doesn't have faith in the instructions of the spiritual master, faith in Bhagavad Gita? What happens to such a person who takes these instructions lightly and goes by the dictates of their own mind? Let's see. Yeah. Who's reading this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Agnyas chasraddha dhanas samsayatma vinashyati. Nayam lokosti na paro na sukham samsayat manah.
Yeah.
Translation. But ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mother. So this is the
Uh,
problem. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Should I read the purport?
It's okay, Mother. It's a little lengthy. Let's skip this purport. So, a faithful person versus faithless person. So, very powerful verse. Agnascha ashraddadhanascha. Agnascha ashraddadhanascha. Samshayatma vinashyati. So, who doesn't have faith? Krishna says Agna doesn't have a faith. Jna and Agnya. Opposites. Jna means intelligent person, wise person, knowledgeable person. Agnya means fool, or who doesn't have knowledge of the standard scriptures. Agnya. Ashraddadhana, who doesn't have faith in the revealed scriptures, who is full of doubts. Samshayatma, vinashyati, falls down. What happens to a doubtful person? See, having doubts is nothing wrong, okay? If we have questions, we have to get it cleared. Or you read the scriptures until the samshaya is gone. Just like Arjuna. He had so many questions, okay? He had so many concerns. He expressed all of them in front of Krishna. Got all of them answered positively. And he convinced himself. And then he was right to do what Krishna said. This is the right way of sadhana. It should not be that, we've spent so many years and we're asking the same question we asked on the day one. That is called samshayatma. Something faithless, or somebody who is like completely always doubtful. If we continue to be doubtful like that, despite of so much of discussion, so much of reading, then there's no possibility of liberation. Then what happens? Fall down. The next thing that happens is fall down. In Krishna consciousness, there's some people who continue and there's some people who fall down. How do you find out whether one person is going to continue or a person is going to fall down? Is simply faith. That's it. Somebody who has faith, who continuously asks questions, gets clarified, continues this path. The others who keep doubting, they fall down. That's what happens. Samshayatma vinashyati. Not in this lifetime. Again, they'll have to try it again. It's the next lifetime. This lifetime is over. Right? So, that's about it. So here it's written, one should therefore follow in the footsteps of great acharyas who are in the disciplic succession and attain success. That's the right way of doing it. Follow the great acharyas in the disciplic succession and attain success. Let's go to the next one. Next verse. Who's reading the next verse?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchinna samshayam atmavantam na karmani nibadnanti dhananjaya. Translation: one who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus, he is not bound by the reactions of work, O conqueror of riches. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You can read the purport, it's small.
Asha Prabhuji. One who follows the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita as it is imparted by the Lord, the personality of Godhead himself, becomes free from all doubts by the grace of transcendental knowledge. He, as a part and parcel of the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, is already established in self-knowledge. As such, he is undoubtedly above bondage to action. Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, it's very clear. What we are supposed to be doing is, we have to simply follow the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is not a textbook for recital. Okay, that's not the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, it's not meant for just simply reading and repeating it. It's meant to be understood. It's meant to be accepted. It is meant to be followed as an instruction manual. Okay, that's what we are supposed to be trying. We should be following it, whatever it says. At least one verse, if not all 700 verses. So we have to become free from all the doubts. We have so many questions. All of us have the same questions. Okay, that's what I put those questions in the Gita master class, like how to become happy, how to get rid of my karma. First of all, does God exist? This is a question. Why do bad things happen to me? Why do bad things happen to good people? If God exists, why is he not stopping the suffering in this material world? Right? Why is it that I'm suffering a reaction of something which I have not performed? I think that I'm a very good person, but why am I suffering? So these are the kind of questions everybody has, right? But these questions will be completely cleared by the grace of transcendental knowledge. And when we come to that stage, we are fully clear that we are part and parcel of Krishna. And the transcendental knowledge is possible only when you execute devotional service. And the transcendental knowledge is available only when we approach a spiritual master. That's a very important conclusion. Okay, we'll come to that conclusion. Very, very important conclusion. So let me show you that. Here you see. We'll come to this verse where we will see ultimately the transcendental knowledge is not something that just comes out of the blue. It comes by serving the spiritual master. It only comes by serving the spiritual master. Tatvidhi pradipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Krishna is saying that. Let's go to that verse and show you that. So in the verse number 31 to 35, we're talking about transcendental knowledge. How do you attain transcendental knowledge? Here it is. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. This is Krishna's instruction. Very clear instruction. Okay, 4th chapter 34. Very clear instruction. Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. We have to approach a tattvadarshinaha, a self-realized soul who has seen the truth. And then do what? Submissively inquire and render service. This is what a disciple must be doing. This is the only way to attain transcendental knowledge. Somebody can ask that Krishna said, Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, Satatam, so he said that, there, Tesham evanu kampartam aham ajnanajam tamah jnashayami atmabhavasto jnanadipena bhashata. Yesam satata yuktaye bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. Krishna is saying, for those people who are constantly worshipping me, I give them knowledge from within. So Krishna is saying like that in the 10th chapter, that I give the knowledge from within. And here Krishna is saying, go to the Guru and get the knowledge. Which one is correct? Anybody wants to answer this? In one verse in 10th chapter, Krishna is saying, if somebody is always worshipping me, to them I give knowledge from within. Here, in this verse, he is saying, go to a spiritual master who is a self-realized soul and get knowledge from him. How do you reconcile both? I mean, of course, our favorite version would be to ignore the spiritual master, but
Krishna speaks through the spiritual master.
yeah, Krishna speaks to the spiritual master. What else? Can you think of some other example? Can you come up with some example of a devotee and connect the spiritual master, Krishna, and the devotee? How all of these three come together?
Maybe, for example, Shankaracharya, he got knowledge from Krishna and all, and through Shankaracharya, we will be getting the knowledge, like he is a spiritual master.
Okay, but how did he receive knowledge? How did he get knowledge? Did he get knowledge by his own attempt? Or did he approach a spiritual master, Gaudapada?
He also approached a spiritual master.
He approached a spiritual master.
Yes. In near Narmada, one cave, one Rishi, he went and approached him.
Yeah, I think it is Gaudapada, right?
Yeah, he was living in a cave. It's a small
Correct.
cave where people can't enter.
He had knowledge. His father was teaching him all the shlokas. He learned all the shlokas. He was like an expert in a very young childhood. He memorized all the Vedas, expert. He's already extraordinary expert. Okay, why should he need to go to the spiritual master? Right? But he went to the spiritual master. We know he took initiation from the spiritual master. Right? So, yeah, thank you. I'll tell you one example, okay? This will become very, very crystal clear for you. Prahlad Maharaj. How many of you heard about Prahlad Maharaj? Prahlad Maharaj, who was the spiritual master of Prahlad Maharaj? Narada. And when did Prahlad Maharaj take instructions from his spiritual master?
When he was in his mother's womb.
Prahlad Maharaj, when he was in the womb of his mother, Kayadu, when he was within the womb, his spiritual master, Narada, taught him something that Kayadu forgot, but Prahlad within the womb listened and remembered. And what was the message that he heard? to always worship Krishna. That was a message that he heard. And what did he do? Prahlad Maharaj, after he was born, he followed his spiritual master instructions and he was always worshipping Krishna. And as a result of which, what happened towards the end? What was the result of following the instructions of the spiritual master?
The Lord appear from the pillar because the devotee said that yes, the Lord.
Yes, the Supreme Lord appeared from within the wall just for Prahlad Maharaj. He appeared from within the wall, breaking the wall pillar. He appeared in front of Prahlad and he took an incarnation just for him because he was following the instructions of the spiritual master. So, if somebody says, I don't need a spiritual master, I will always remember Krishna and I will get knowledge from within. To always remember Krishna, you need somebody to be telling you to be remembering Krishna, right? You need somebody to tell you that always remember Krishna. So the person who said always remember Krishna is the Guru. And we cannot discredit that Guru. Prahlad Maharaj, when he saw Narasimhadev Bhagavan, the first verse, the first shloka he says is, "Oh my dear Lord, because of the mercy of my spiritual master, I am able to see you and serve you now face to face." He didn't say, okay, you see, my supreme dear Lord, you are my, heart of the soul, and I don't need my spiritual master. It's over, game over. Right? So I don't know who is my spiritual master. Now I am directly with Krishna. I don't know. I don't need spiritual master. No, he didn't say that. The first thing he acknowledged, he credited his spiritual master. By the mercy of my spiritual master, I am able to see you, my dear Lord. This is important, okay? By the mercy of the Guru, we get Krishna. By the mercy of Krishna, we get Guru. They work hand in hand. And what does Guru say? Guru say always worship Krishna. And what does Krishna say? Worship Guru as if you are worshipping me. That is Krishna's instruction. Guru's instruction is always worship Krishna. So by taking these two at the same time, Yasya Deve Tata Bhakti Tasya Deve Tata Guru. That means by worshipping Supreme Lord and Guru, like taking the two tracks of the spiritual express, we can actually go back to God. This is the process. Because the Guru will say always remember Krishna, and he will teach you how to remember Krishna all the time. And by remembering Krishna, Krishna will give us knowledge from within and we go back to God. Okay, so that's how we get transcendental knowledge. Okay, let's finish this verse, last one. Yes, 42.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Text 42. Tasmad Jnana Sambhutam Ajnana Samyutam Ritastam Jnana Sinnatmanah Chiktvainam Samshayam Yogam Atistoktista Bharata. Translation. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So here it says, Tasmat Ajnana Sambhutam. Ajnana Sambhutam means born of ignorance. There's so many doubts that Arjuna had in the beginning. Hrutstam Jnanasin Atmanaha. So that means he's saying, take up a weapon. Okay, take up the sharp weapon of jnana and then cut it. He's saying Chitvainam Samshayam Yogam. Chitvainam means cut it off. Take the sharp weapon of knowledge and cut these doubts. See, these doubts are like demons. They are actually stopping us from growing to Krishna. We have so many questions within, so many doubts. People keep saying this, right? Oh, who has seen that you're going back to Krishna? Okay, why are you doing this? Krishna consciousness. Who has seen Krishna? Have you seen Krishna? Who has? So these are the kind of doubts that we have within. Okay, why do I need a spiritual master? I don't need a spiritual master. I don't need a human being to tell me what I should do. You see, these are all kind of ajnana sambhutam. They're born out of ignorance. We should take the weapon of knowledge and Chitvainam. Break it, cut it off, and then Atishtottishta Bharata. Atishta and Uttishta. Stand up and fight. That's what Krishna is saying. Right? So that's the thing. So ultimately, this is a very beautiful purport where Krishna is, when Prabhupada is actually summarizing the entire chapter of transcendental knowledge. We have seen a lot of things in this transcendental knowledge, right? So the point is, we can see this, I'll just quickly summarize this. This chapter is called as Sanatana Yoga, eternal activities performed by living entities. The living entities have been eternally performing some kinds of activities. And there are two types of activities in the Sanatana Yoga. One is sacrifice of one's material possessions, and one is the knowledge of the self, which is pure spiritual activity. So can you tell me which one is superior, which one is inferior?
Yes.
First or second? Which one is?
Second one.
Second one is superior.
Yes.
Sacrifice in knowledge is spiritual activity. That's spiritual. Just simply sacrificing for the sake of material benefits is material. Here it says, if the sacrifice is not dovetailed with for spiritual realization, then that sacrifice becomes material. So all the religious activities that we are doing today, Krishna is only saying do it, but if we do not dovetail it for spiritual realization, if we do not do it for the pleasure of Krishna, if we simply do it for our sense gratification, then is this material or spiritual? Is it material or spiritual?
Material.
It is material.
Material.
So we should perform it with a spiritual objective. That is devotional service. When you do it with a spiritual objective, it becomes devotional service. It becomes a service. The purpose is higher purpose, not just simply sense gratification. And then again, when we come to the spiritual activities, okay, so far Sanatana Yoga, we spoke about two things: service, sacrifice of material possessions, sacrifice in knowledge. He said we decided that sacrifice of knowledge is better. Now, this first one is material activity, second one is spiritual activity. Now, among the spiritual activity also, again, there are two. Let's see what they are. Understanding one's own constitutional position and truth regarding Lord Krishna. The two things that we have to understand. Understand about yourself and understand about Krishna. In the spiritual activities, one step is to understand who I am. I am the soul, eternal soul. I am not the body. I am part and parcel of Krishna, who is the supreme whole. Second one is to understand Supreme Lord Krishna. These are the two spiritual activities that we should be doing. Understanding about our Atma Tattva, Paramatma Tattva. And then anybody who follows the path of Bhagavad Gita can understand these two important spiritual knowledge. There is no difficulty in obtaining perfect knowledge of the self as part and parcel of the Lord. And then such understanding, and for such a person can understand the transcendental activities of the Lord. Right? And in the beginning of this chapter, the transcendental activities of the Lord are discussed by Supreme Lord himself. So in this fourth chapter, we have seen Krishna speaking about himself first. He said the history of Bhagavad Gita, and then he said that he doesn't have a birth at all, but he takes birth by his Yogamaya potency for a purpose, for annihilating the miscreants and for the for delivering the pious people. So that is his. And then he says that his birth and pastimes are all transcendental, right? And he says that there is no work that binds him, and we have to. That is the second part, right? So to understand about the transcendental nature of the Lord. So anybody who does not understand the Gita is called faithless. He is considered to be misusing the fragmental independence awarded to him by the Lord. So if somebody says, you see, I am not a Hindu, I am not reading Bhagavad Gita, is still considered faithless, because it's actually misuse of fragmental independence, because this is not a Hindu textbook. It's that this is a message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for every living entity. So it's simply misuse of independence to not read Bhagavad Gita and understand the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. So if anybody ignores the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada is saying he's fool number one. If we do not understand, despite of so many clear instructions, if somebody is not able to understand, clearly Krishna is explaining about his nature, his energies, everything. But despite of all of this knowledge, if somebody doesn't take advantage of this, he's certainly a fool number one. So how do you get rid of ignorance? The gradual steps, gradual principles of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness can be awakened by different types of sacrifices to demigods, sacrifice to Brahman, sacrifice in celibacy, in household life, controlling the senses, practicing mystic yoga, in penance, foregoing material positions, studying Vedas, and partaking in the social institution called Varnashrama Dharma. All of these are known as sacrifice. Okay, let us see this part. See this. Krishna, I'm highlighting, very important.
Prabhuji, we are not seeing it actually.
Oh, sorry. Okay, now?
Now we can see, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
sorry. Yeah, Krishna consciousness is awakened by different types of sacrifices to the demigods, sacrifice to Brahman, sacrifice in celibacy, household life, controlling senses, mystic yoga performance, penances, giving up material possessions, studying Vedas, partaking in Varnashrama Dharma. All of these are known as sacrifices, which are based on regulated action. So in summary, this is our religion. Sanatana Dharma, whatever religious practices that we do you all agree that it falls in all of these? Every activity that we do in Hinduism is just covered in one paragraph here. Do you agree?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, everything is covered here. Sacrifice to the Devatas, impersonal Brahman meditation, tapasya, Varnashrama Dharma, Grihastha life, Brahmachari life, reading the Vedas, doing donations, everything. All of this is called as sacrifice. All of this is called as yajna. So the purpose of all of these different kinds of sacrifices is to do what? What's the final purpose of it? To awaken Krishna consciousness. But if the
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
consciousness, yeah, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, in this, the portion where you have highlighted few lines, why it is only considers Varnashrama Dharma, not the other ashramas?
Which Varnashrama Dharma covers all four ashramas, all four Varnas.
Okay.
It's all the Varnas, all the ashramas, everything.
All four
Varnas,
right?
all four ashramas, everything is covered. So the purpose of all of this dharma, yes, Prabhu, I hope it's clear. The purpose of all of this is to awaken Krishna consciousness. Dharma swanushtita pumsam vishwaksena katasuya notpadayat yadiratim shrama eva hi kevalam. Let us say if somebody is doing all of this, okay, I'll worship all the demigods, I'll do all impersonal sacrifice, I'll do tapasya, I'll do varnashrama dharma, I'm a very perfect husband, perfect father, perfect this, perfect that, I'll do yoga system, I'll give charity, everything I'll do it. But I have no attraction towards Krishna. Then do we consider that as a success? Is that successful? Bhagavatam says, Shrama eva hi kevalam. Shrama eva hi kevalam means a lot of hard work for nothing. Ultimately got nothing out of it. The purpose is we should get attraction towards Krishna's stories. The purpose is we should get interested in the self-realization. And very important point, the real student of Bhagavad Gita should not doubt the authority of Krishna. So when Krishna says it, I will accept it. If Krishna says this, I will just accept whatever Krishna says. That is perfect. Whatever Arjuna says, right? Whatever you say, I shall believe it. That is perfect knowledge. Right? Karishya vachanam tava. Whatever you say, I will follow. Arjuna says, okay, if you say fight, I will fight. If you say stop, I will stop fighting. That's it. If we doubt the authority of Krishna, it is simply fall down. That's it. And therefore, one is advised to read under a bona fide spiritual master with service and surrender. We need a bona fide spiritual master to make us realize this point. We need a bona fide spiritual master. It's not optional, it's compulsory. And who is a bona fide spiritual master? Who is in the disciplic succession from time eternal, and he does not at all deviate from the instructions of the Supreme Lord, as they were imparted to the Sun God, from whom the instructions of Bhagavad Gita have come down to the earthly kingdom. Just look at this, okay? Why I'm stressing this so much is because this is the place where Krishna stresses a lot on spiritual master. This is transcendental knowledge. Again, in the other chapters, we will not have this opportunity. But again, we'll go back to that illusion. Why do we need spiritual master at all? That's the reason why I'm explaining this clearly. This Bhagavad Gita reading, understanding, everything, service, realization, of course, this is just, we're trying to read and understand a little bit. It's not over, okay? It's not that after this class is over, we've understood Bhagavad Gita. It's a lifetime reading. So we have to approach a spiritual master, and we have to realize this, and we have to select a spiritual master. How to select a spiritual master? Somebody who is not at all deviating all his life, never deviates from Supreme Lord's instruction. Like that, we should do it. And we should avoid reading Bhagavad Gita from those people who are doing it for self-aggrandizement. Right? And this is the way. One who understands this is a liberated from person from the very beginning of the study of Bhagavad Gita. If you simply understand Krishna, that he is the supreme person and his activities are transcendental. Only this, okay. We have done so many classes. Okay, we'll go through so many more classes, another 1 year or so. If any one of you realizes this point, Krishna is supreme, his activities are transcendental. Only one line, then you are already liberated. Finished. The goal is over. You are already liberated. Right? So that's all devotees. So that's the summary of 4th chapter. So I hope you got something out of it. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams. We'll stop here.
Prabhuji, then.
Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Dandavat
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Thank you,
pranam.
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji.